everybody. Today's edition, we're going to be building another bumper. We've got a front bumper for this, another move kit, and let me tell you, we got it's been a while since I bought it, so I don't remember exactly what they call it. This is going to be a Precision Tubular Sport Pre-Runner. So it's going to have a couple little bars on it. Nothing special, but we're going to get into it. Again, we're just using the Big Miller welder and going to put our end plates on first, get it all together. Then we're going to mount it. I got the brackets down here already mounted to the pickup. And when I did those, I did go ahead and put a level on them so that I know that they're straight the way I want to be. They're straight to each other or level across. Then we also did go ahead and mount the grill real fast because we need to make sure that our gap across there, once we get that welded to those brackets, is going to be good and even. Obviously not using this grill when we go back for final construction, but we'll get more into that when it's time. For now, let's start burning some steel. Side one. Okay, so we fitted up there onto our brackets, reached in the backside and tack welded. One thing I did, I don't know how you're supposed to do it, but we've done away with this lower filler panel, that piece right there, because I don't like the way those look sitting on top of a bumper. It looks like a body lift and I despise that. So we did away with that. So in this bumper, because I've got the 30-inch light opening, these brackets actually interfere. You can see just a little bit how they come into those corners. So I'm just going to have to trim those back. And then once the light bar's in there, you'll never see any of that anyways. But that will have to be figured out. But that is one change. And I don't know if you're supposed to keep the filler piece or lose it. Then we may try to figure out some way to kind of clean up that difference, you know, put a short piece of that end filler in or something. We'll kind of figure that out and burn that bridge when we get there, but that's where we're at right now. Now I'm ready to, the ends are tacked on. Everything's tacked into place. Now it's time to just start burning it together, and then we'll grind it. I won't bore you guys with all that stuff. This is where we mark center line. And our center line actually is not dead center on the grill, just because of the way, you know, that's kind of why you build these to fit. We needed to make sure that our gaps, you know, our ends lined up better, and taking a little bit out of the center, you know, moving to one side just a little bit made a lot of difference in evening that up. So that's something to keep in mind when you're building this. Just to, you know, that's why they have you build them on the vehicle. And little changes like that, and just different things that you can do and deviate the way it fits and everything. You know, that's kind of your responsibility to build it. So keep that in mind. That as you put a piece on, make sure it fits everything the way you need it to. But right now we're really happy with it, and like I said, I'm just going to start burning it all together. And the way I'm doing it is I'm welding the backside first. Because like here, you can see between these two pieces there's a gap. They don't fit completely flush. And that just helps me that I can do my weld in the backside and fill that. And then when I'm doing the outside, I can do more of a cosmetic type weld, I guess. You know, I can finish it up. I'm not looking to make all my strength out there. I've already got my strength built into it, and I can just put it together and put the bead where I need it for grinding it and making those edges look right. But I'm also not a great welder, never claimed to be, but we're gonna get this burnt together and go from there. Catch back up in a few. Okay, we got it welded and ground, sanded on it some. I got a little more sanding to do, just to kind of finish cleaning it up, but I'm going to have more because now what I've got is the pre-runner bar, sport bar, whatever you want to call it. You got a bracket on each side, and then there's going to be 2 round bars that go between them. And this is really hard for me to show as I'm doing it because I'm kind of doing it by myself right now. That is one thing you guys are going to definitely want help through this project, because especially like mine, where the pickup's already painted. If you're just working on an old junkyard beater, it's one thing, but you got to be careful around these corners with your fenders and everything, that you're not smashing stuff and scratching paint. And so I've had good help around to keep dealing with that stuff and building this thing together so far. But today I'm down here by myself, so I'm trying to work slow and steady. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to tack at least one of these on. I've got them evened up. I used my center line. I brought the center line down that I showed you guys earlier, and we're centered up on the grill now. I don't know if you can kind of tell. That's the old center line, and we've had to move it over to here for what's actually center of the pickup now, because I want these brackets to line up even with the grill when it's said and done. I'd rather have a little bit off on the bumper and it's not much. I mean, you guys can tell we're splitting a 1/4 inch both ways. So it's not anything you're even going to see unless you got these canted off to one side. That would be much more noticeable. So I'm choosing to center up with center there versus what measured center. So that's why we're doing this stuff. And now I marked here, and then I've got a mark under each of these legs so that I can know where that bracket sits straight. And I did have to open up the back side of this one, just kind of come in and beveled it so it would sit down flush, so that these 2 brackets just didn't quite sit the same. And so I adjusted that with the grinder a little bit. Nothing big, it took about 10 seconds. But that's where we're at with this. So, like I said, it's really hard to show, but my plan is to kind of tack this, maybe both sides, we'll see. But I'm going to have to be holding those bars up and leveling and tacking all kind of with the only 2 hands I have. So it's going to be really hard to show you guys any of that, but wanted to kind of let you know my game plan, and I'll catch up once we've got this a little more put together. Okay, there it is. I got the side brackets mostly welded solid. I just need to hit the bottom here, but I wanted to do that once it's off so I can kind of move it around a little bit. I got the sport bars just tacked in right now, but they're ready to weld solid. Like I said, it was hard for me to film anything, so I just kind of touch base here. You can see those bars point straight forward. They've got that bend in them, so you got to make sure that you've got them pointed straight forward with that, so that they're not running downhill or uphill, with that bend. But took time to make sure that you can see how straight it lays across with that grill. Both bars there. These side brackets hit the grill the same spot everywhere. This thing's coming together. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and my next steps is to weld this solid. I've already welded they leave a seam here that you've got to weld on each side. One here, that's where they relieve it so that they can do their bends. I've welded and ground those for the most part. Kind of started, more to do obviously, but that's where we're at. We're gonna get this final welded. The only welding besides, I've got the tubes left to weld on solid, and then I'll have to, once I get my light bar, then I'll weld my brackets in. That should be in the next few days, so we'll get that, should be still at the end of this video. But I'm gonna burn these in and move forward. Okay, so I'm working out of order here a little bit, guys. I just want to show you at the end of this video. I got the light bar brackets in there. They mount in the bottom. Next video, we're gonna get rid of that. We're gonna get this bumper on. I got some really cool stuff coming up for that one. Things are really gonna start taking shape. I'm getting really excited about this thing. It's all really starting to come together. So I gotta wrap this one up, start moving on to the next thing. For now, go find a project, get dirty.